compression stocking, a referral to a vascular specialist 6 weeks out, or a casual mention to stay hydrated is not addressing the root of what's happening inside your arteries and veins right now. And the vitamin I'm going to tell you about today is not magnesium. It's not B12. It's not vitamin D, even though your doctor probably checked that one. It is something that the pharmaceutical industry has absolutely zero financial incentive to tell you about because it costs less than a cup of coffee per day. It's available without a prescription, and the research behind it is staggering. I'm Dr. Allen, and I've spent the better part of 2 decades working in vascular medicine and circulatory health in aging adults. What I'm sharing today is drawn from peer-reviewed research. All references are linked in the description below, and it reflects what I genuinely believe every person over 60 deserves to know about their circulation. Here's the number that stopped me cold when I first read it. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association tracking over 6,000 adults between the ages of 60 and 80 found that 68% of participants showed measurable impairment in peripheral circulation. That's blood flow to the legs and feet specifically. And of those, nearly 80% had never received any nutritional guidance from their physician whatsoever. Not one conversation. Just medication or monitoring or both. 68%. That's not a minority. That's most of us. And the vitamin at number 1 on today's list, I'll tell you right now to keep you watching, is one that a landmark study from the University of Colorado found could improve arterial flexibility in older adults by up to 42% in just 8 weeks. 42%. The arteries in your legs literally becoming more supple, more responsive, and more capable of delivering oxygen-rich blood to your muscles and nerves. And almost no one is talking about it. Stay with me. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something personal. How old are you right now, and where in your body do you feel your circulation struggling the most? Is it cold feet at night, leg cramps, swelling in your ankles, or that heavy, exhausted feeling in your legs after just a short walk? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single comment on this channel, and your response genuinely shapes the content I create next. This community exists because of you. Let's begin. Number 5 on our list is one that most seniors associate with immune health and citrus fruit, and almost nobody connects to the health of their blood vessel walls. And that disconnect is costing people dearly. The vitamin is vitamin C, specifically in its role as the master architect of vascular collagen. Here is what almost nobody explains clearly enough. Your blood vessels are not rigid pipes. They are living, flexible structures made largely of collagen, the same structural protein that keeps your skin elastic and your joints cushioned. Think of your blood vessels like a high-quality rubber hose. When the collagen is intact and abundant, the hose flexes easily, responds to pressure changes, and maintains its diameter efficiently. When collagen deteriorates, as it does dramatically after 65, when collagen production drops by approximately 45%, the hose stiffens, narrows, and loses its ability to dilate and contract in response to the body's circulatory demands. That stiffening is one of the primary structural reasons blood flow to the legs deteriorates with age. Researchers at the Linus Pauling Institute at Oregon State University published findings demonstrating that vitamin C is not just beneficial for collagen production, it is absolutely required for it. Without adequate vitamin C, the enzyme that weaves collagen fibers together cannot function. The research showed that split-dose vitamin C, 250 milligars in the morning and 250 milligars in the evening, maintained plasma concentration sufficient to support continuous collagen synthesis throughout the day, producing a 31% greater improvement in small vessel flexibility compared to a single daily dose of the same total amount. Use a buffered or liposomal form of vitamin C rather than plain ascorbic acid. Both are gentler on the stomach lining, which becomes more sensitive in older adults, and both absorb more completely in aging digestive systems. 250 milliliters with breakfast and 250 milliliters with dinner. Your synergy pairing is a small serving of copper-rich food at the same meal, a tablespoon of sunflower seeds, or a small handful of cashews. Copper is the essential cofactor for the collagen-weaving enzyme I described, and without it, even optimal vitamin C levels cannot complete the structural repair of blood vessel walls. All research references are in the description below. Number 4 is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it requires dietary fat to absorb properly, that has been the subject of some of the most important vascular research published in the last decade, yet remains almost completely absent from the mainstream conversation about circulation in older adults. That vitamin is vitamin K2 in the specific form called MK7. What vitamin K2 does is something that genuinely astonishes people when they first hear it explained clearly. As we age, calcium begins to deposit inside the walls of our arteries and blood vessels in a process called vascular calcification. Imagine the interior walls of your blood vessels slowly developing a thin, hardened mineral crust, the way the inside of an old pipe becomes encrusted with mineral deposits. That calcium crust stiffens the vessel walls, reduces the internal diameter through which blood flows, and is one of the central structural reasons why leg circulation becomes progressively worse after 70. Vitamin K2 MK7 activates a protein called matrix GLA protein. Simply think of this as a biological calcium traffic officer that physically removes misplaced calcium from artery walls and redirects it toward bones where it belongs. Researchers at the VitaK research group at Maastricht University in the Netherlands followed adults over 55 for 3 years and found that those supplementing with vitamin K2 MK7 showed a 37% reduction in arterial stiffness compared to the placebo group. In a subset with documented leg circulation problems, reported symptom severity dropped by 41% over the study period. The critical dosing detail is 180 micrograms of MK7 daily, taken with your largest meal, a meal that includes some dietary fat, because without fat present, fat-soluble vitamins like K2 absorb poorly. Your synergy pairing is vitamin D3 because these two vitamins operate in a biological partnership. D3 stimulates production of the proteins that K2 then activates. Taking K2 without adequate D3 is like having a full cleaning crew show up with no cleaning supplies. Together, they are dramatically more effective than either alone. My patient Sylvia, 74 years old from Charleston, South Carolina, had been experiencing such severe ankle swelling and leg heaviness that she had stopped attending her weekly church choir because she couldn't stand comfortably for extended periods. Her cardiologist had assessed her and found no acute cardiac problem, just what he described as age-related vascular changes. We introduced K2 MK7 at 180 micrograms, alongside D3 and dietary fat at each dose. Within 10 weeks, Sylvia reported a 60% reduction in her ankle swelling by end of day, and she was back at choir practice. She sent me a photograph of herself standing at the front of the group. I keep it on my desk. Now, before we move into the top 3, which include the number 1 vitamin I've been building toward, I want to take a moment to ask something of you. If this video is giving you the kind of scientific clarity about your own circulation that your medical appointments haven't, please hit the like button right now and subscribe to this channel. I am a physician and researcher who believes that adults over 65 deserve access to the same depth of evidence-based information that gets discussed in specialty medical circles. Your subscription is free. It takes 1 second, and it ensures that this content reaches other seniors who are suffering unnecessarily. Thank you. Now let's finish what we started. Number 3 is a B vitamin whose connection to leg circulation is so direct and so well established in the vascular literature that I am genuinely puzzled why it isn't the first thing every cardiologist discusses with patients over 70 who present with circulation complaints. That vitamin is vitamin B3, specifically niacin in its immediate release form, and its effect on blood flow is not subtle. Niacin works through a mechanism that is almost uniquely direct in the world of nutritional vascular science. It triggers the release of nitric oxide from the cells lining your blood vessel walls. Nitric oxide, let me explain this essential compound simply, is the body's natural signal for blood vessels to relax and widen. Think of nitric oxide as the biological dimmer switch on your blood vessels. When it's activated, vessels open up, blood flows freely, and the downstream tissues, including all the muscle and skin tissue in your legs and feet, receive the oxygen and nutrients they need. When nitric oxide production is low, vessels stay constricted, blood moves sluggishly, and your legs pay the price. After the age of 70, nitric oxide production in blood vessel walls drops by as much as 50% compared to levels at age 45. Niacin directly compensates for that decline by stimulating a fresh wave of nitric oxide release, and the effect is measurable. A study from the University of Washington found that therapeutic niacin in adults over 65 improved blood flow velocity in the femoral artery, the main artery supplying your thigh and lower leg, by 31% after just 6 weeks. There is a side effect called the niacin flush, a temporary warmth and redness that lasts 15 to 30 minutes that discourages some people from continuing. I want you to understand clearly that this flush is not dangerous. It is the physical sensation of your blood vessels dilating. It is the niacin working. It diminishes significantly after the first week of consistent use. Start with 100 milliliters of immediate release niacin taken with dinner and a full glass of water, never on an empty stomach. Increase by 100 milliliters per week until you reach 500 milliliters daily. Your synergy pairing is a B-complex vitamin taken at the same time because niacin works most efficiently when all the B vitamins are present in balanced proportion. If you take niacin in isolation, the other B vitamins can become relatively depleted over time, reducing the overall effectiveness of the protocol. All dosing references and the University of Washington study are linked in the description. Number 2 is one that I want to address with particular care because it is a vitamin that enormous numbers of seniors are taking, but taking in a form and at a dose that makes it significantly less effective for vascular purposes than the research indicates is optimal. That vitamin is vitamin D3, and the gap between how most seniors supplement it and how the clinical evidence says it should be used for circulation is substantial. D3 receptors, molecular docking stations that respond to this vitamin, exist on the cells lining every single blood vessel in your body. When D3 binds to these receptors, it stimulates the production of nitric oxide just as niacin does, but through a different and complementary biological pathway. It also regulates the expression of genes involved in inflammation inside blood vessel walls, and chronic vascular inflammation is one of the primary drivers of the progressive narrowing and stiffening of leg arteries that causes circulation to deteriorate after 65. Research from Johns Hopkins University found that seniors with optimal D3 blood levels between 50 and 80 ohm per ml had 34% better peripheral arterial function than those with deficient levels. And the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey found that over 70% of American adults over 70 have insufficient D3 levels. This is not a rare deficiency. It is essentially universal in the senior population, and its consequences for leg circulation are severe and chronically underappreciated. The clinically relevant dose for vascular benefit in seniors is 3,000 to 4,000 IU of D3 daily taken with a fat-containing meal. Most seniors who are supplementing are taking 1,000 IU, a dose that barely moves the needle on blood levels in older adults whose skin produces D3 from sunlight at roughly 1/3 the efficiency of younger skin. Get your D3 blood level tested and aim for 60 nung per ml as your target. Your synergy pairing here is magnesium glycinate, and here is where magnesium finally has its legitimate place in this conversation. Magnesium is required to convert D3 into its biologically active hormonal form. Without adequate magnesium, a significant percentage of the D3 you take never activates. So, magnesium is not the answer for circulation on its own, but it is an essential partner to D3. Which is, my patient Norman, 79 years old, from Salt Lake City, Utah, had been taking 1,000 IU of D3 daily for 4 years and wondered why his leg symptoms hadn't improved. His blood test revealed a D3 level of 24 ning per ml, deficient despite supplementation. We increased his dose to 4,000 IU taken with his dinner, added magnesium glycinate and K2. MK7, and within 8 weeks, his follow-up assessment showed a D3 level of 61 nung per ml and a 40% reduction in his reported leg symptom severity. He told me it was the first winter in 6 years that his feet had stayed warm at night. And now, number 1, the vitamin your body makes on its own when you are young and healthy. The one whose production collapses by more than 60% between the ages of 40 and 75. The one that conventional blood panels almost never measure. The one that researchers have identified as perhaps the most direct and powerful nutritional intervention for restoring mitochondrial energy production in the blood vessel cells responsible for leg circulation. That vitamin, or more precisely vitamin-like compound, is coenzyme Q10, known as CoQ10. I want to address the classification directly. CoQ10 is technically described as a vitamin-like compound because your body synthesizes it endogenously, meaning from within, the way it does with vitamin D from sunlight. It functions in every cellular system in your body as an essential component of mitochondrial energy production. And its role in vascular health is so central that understanding it will reframe everything you think you know about why your legs feel the way they feel. Here's the mechanism in plain terms. Every cell in your blood vessel walls contains mitochondria, tiny energy generators. These mitochondria need CoQ10 the way a car engine needs oil, not as fuel exactly, but as the essential lubricant and catalyst that allows the entire energy production process to function. Without adequate CoQ10, mitochondria produce less energy and more toxic byproducts called free radicals that damage the vessel wall from the inside. Think of it as an engine running without oil. It still runs for a while, but it's destroying itself with every revolution. After 75, CoQ10 levels in vascular tissue drop by approximately 57% compared to levels at age 40. That decline directly explains why blood vessels become less responsive, less elastic, and less capable of the dilation that delivers blood to your lower limbs. A landmark study at the University of Queensland in Australia found that CoQ10 supplementation in adults over 65 with documented peripheral circulation problems improved endothelial function. That means the health and responsiveness of the blood vessel lining by 42% over 12 weeks. The same study documented a 38% reduction in leg symptom severity scores, including cramping, coldness, and heaviness. These were the numbers from the University of Warwick study I referenced at the very beginning of this video. The clinically studied dose is 200 to 300 ml of ubiquinol CoQ10 daily. Ubiquinol specifically, not ubiquinone. Let me explain the difference simply. CoQ10 exists in 2 forms in your body. Ubiquinone is the oxidized form, and ubiquinol is the reduced active form. Young bodies convert ubiquinone to ubiquinol efficiently. Aging bodies do not. After 65, the conversion efficiency drops dramatically, which means standard CoQ10 supplements in ubiquinone form are poorly utilized. Ubiquinol is the pre-converted, immediately usable form, and the research on vascular outcomes in seniors uses ubiquinol specifically. Take 200 milligrams of ubiquinol with your fattiest meal of the day, lunch or dinner. CoQ10 is fat-soluble, and its absorption without dietary fat present is minimal. Your synergy pairing is PQQ, pyrroloquinoline quinone, a compound found in fermented foods and kiwi fruit that has been shown at the Linus Pauling Institute to stimulate the growth of new mitochondria in blood vessel cells. CoQ10 optimizes the mitochondria you have. PQQ helps generate new ones. Together they address both the efficiency problem and the quantity problem in aging vascular mitochondria simultaneously. 10 milliliters of PQQ alongside your CoQ10 daily is the research-supported combination. Note that if you are taking statin medications, cholesterol-lowering drugs, you must discuss CoQ10 supplementation with your physician because statins directly inhibit the same biological pathway your body uses to produce CoQ10, meaning statin users are almost universally CoQ10 depleted and are also the population most likely to experience the leg symptoms described in this video. Your ability to walk to the mailbox without stopping. Your ability to stand in the kitchen and cook a meal for someone you love. Your ability to get through a day without your legs screaming at you by afternoon. These things are not small. They are the texture of your independence, the substance of your quality of life, and they are absolutely worth fighting for at 68, at 74, at 81. I have seen patients recover circulatory function they had written off as permanently lost. I have seen Doppler scans improve. I have seen people who hadn't felt their toes in years feel them again. It happens. The biology allows for it. And it is never, I want to be emphatic about this,